Your identity shapes your destiny. This isn't just motivational talk. It's been proven by countless success stories. But here's what most people don't understand. You don't need to wait for success to change your identity. You need to change your identity first, then success follows. Today's story is about a night janitor who discovered this secret and transformed not just his job, but his entire life. This story will show you exactly how to shift your identity and why it's the most powerful thing you can do. So stay with us till the end. In a gleaming corporate tower in downtown, there worked a night janitor named David. Every evening at 6 p.m., when all the executives went home, David would arrive with his cleaning cart. He cleaned offices, emptied trash bins, and mopped floors until dawn. David had been doing this job for 5 years, and everyone saw him as just the cleaner guy. David had accepted this identity completely. When people asked what he did for work, he'd say, "I'm just a janitor." He dressed like he didn't matter, spoke quietly, and always took the service elevator. David believed he was at the bottom of the corporate food chain, invisible and unimportant. During his shifts, he'd watch the empty offices of executives and think, "I could never be like them. I'm not smart enough, not educated enough. I'm just here to clean up after important people." One night, while cleaning the CEO's office, David accidentally knocked over a stack of papers. As he picked them up, he noticed they were proposals for improving company efficiency. Reading through them, David was shocked. These brilliant executive ideas were things he'd thought of months ago while doing his rounds. He saw problems and solutions every night that these executives missed during the day. But he'd never spoken up because, after all, he was just a janitor. That night, David stared at his reflection in the bathroom mirror and asked himself a question that changed everything. What if I'm not actually a janitor? What if I'm a business consultant who happens to clean offices? The question felt crazy, but something shifted inside him. He realized he knew more about the daily operations of this company than most of the executives. He saw everything: inefficiencies, waste, employee behaviors, system failures. David spent the rest of his shift thinking differently. Instead of just cleaning, he started observing like a consultant. He noticed that the marketing department wasted hours looking for files because their system was disorganized. The sales team worked late because they had inefficient processes. The executives made decisions based on reports, but David saw the real, daily reality. "I have insights they need," he realized. "I just never saw myself as someone whose opinion mattered." The next week, David made a bold decision. He would start acting like a business consultant, not a janitor. He bought a simple notebook and began documenting the inefficiencies he observed. He researched solutions during his breaks. Most importantly, he changed how he introduced himself. Instead of, "I'm just a janitor," he started saying, "I work in operations and facility optimization." Same job, completely different identity. David's opportunity came when he overheard a frustrated executive complaining about missing inventory. David had noticed this problem for months. Taking a deep breath, he approached the executive and said, "Excuse me, I believe I can help solve your inventory issue. I've been tracking the patterns, and I have some suggestions." The executive was surprised but listened. David's solution was simple, practical, and immediately effective. For the first time, David was seen not as the janitor, but as someone with valuable insights. Word spread about David's problem-solving abilities. Executives started asking for his observations and suggestions. David realized something profound. He had always been capable of this level of thinking. He just never gave himself permission to own that identity. He started dressing slightly better, speaking with confidence, and positioning himself as an operations specialist rather than just a cleaner. His work quality remained the same, but how he saw himself and how others saw him completely transformed. 6 months later, the CEO offered David a position as operations efficiency consultant, a role created specifically for him. David accepted, but here's the twist. He chose to keep doing his night rounds, but now as an executive studying operations from the ground up. Same building, same hours, completely different identity and salary. David had discovered that changing your identity doesn't require changing your circumstances. It requires changing how you see yourself within those circumstances. A year later, David was presenting efficiency strategies to the board of directors. After the meeting, the CEO said, "David, what made the difference? You were always capable of this thinking." David smiled and replied, "I stopped calling myself just a janitor and started seeing myself as someone who could contribute value. The moment I changed my identity, everything else changed. I didn't need to wait for permission to be valuable. I just needed to recognize that I already was." This story teaches us that your current circumstances don't define your identity. Your identity defines your circumstances. David didn't need a new job to become successful. He needed a new way of seeing himself in his existing job. The most powerful transformation happens when you stop waiting for external validation and start validating yourself. Right now, ask yourself, how do you introduce yourself? How do you see your role? You might be one identity shift away from completely changing your life. If this story opened your eyes to the power of identity transformation, give it a like. Share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more life-changing insights. Remember, you're not stuck in your circumstances, you're stuck in your identity. Change that and everything changes.